Hello, how's everybody doing today? Hopefully your day is getting off to a great start, or your evening. Really great to see everybody. Looking forward to taking a look at the next 6 to 8 weeks. Sorry about that, buddy, just a chair. Looking at the next 6 to 8 weeks together here for the sign of Cancer. A reminder that you can always use this for your sun, your rising, as well as your moon. And in fact, I'm going to do a new bonus feature today where actually this month on all the signs, where I pull some special messages for each of those different placements. I'm going to put my little assistant here down so he can relax and we can get started. As I said earlier, my name is Nicholas Ashbaugh. My dog is Apollo. We're going to take a look at the forecast for the month ahead. I want to help you navigate the possibilities. One thing that I like to remind people here is that we're all agents of our free will, which means that we have the capacity and the ability to make things happen. So we're going to look at all of that together. By the way, we're going to light the candles together as well today. I don't always do that beforehand. Sometimes I like to save it and connect with you. So we're going to do that today. Right here, you can see what the reading is going to look like. I haven't yet inserted in the sun, rising, moon piece, but it usually comes right before the meditation portion, so do stick around for that. I like to begin with channeled messages that are basically me working with spirit and coming through with whatever needs to come through. Then we'll look at the Celtic Cross, and the Celtic Cross gives us all the tools, like I said, to really make an impact, looking at possibilities, looking at challenges. And then everything else you see there will follow. And I also do a little bit of interaction with you. Sometimes you can vote for certain elements. So just stick around and everything will come through in the right time. Let's go ahead and light the candles first, and then we'll get into the channeled messages. A couple of things while I'm doing that. If you would like to chat, just a reminder to go ahead and hit the subscribe button. This is a new feature since I am basically doing both the presentation and also the moderating. It just allows me to make sure that people that are chatting really are committed to being a part of the community. So feel free to subscribe if you want to chat and show some support. Also like the video and share it if you'd like to see the channel grow. It helps a lot. For reminders of when I'm coming live and what I've already done, you can follow me on social media. I always use the story features there to keep you updated. You can do real-time support here with SuperStickers and SuperChat. And my website always has the latest schedule. All right, so let me go ahead and we're going to light the candles together, and then we'll get into the reading. Let's begin by connecting directly to Source. So if you've been having a rough day, just wondering like, what can I do to connect? This is your moment to do that. Whatever's going on right now, close your eyes, see yourself in the presence of a ray of light coming from the sun or the moon or a star, not important. Just see that higher light and that beautiful sort of resonance coming into your heart space as well. I'd like to ask that we connect to the divine, to the highest energy possible for the highest good. And I ask that that light protect and guide us. Okay. Connecting to the protective spirit of Archangel Michael. Again, please create a safe space for us to do this reading today, guiding us towards the highest good as well. To Archangel Gabriel, allow me to be a clear channel. Allow everyone else also to be clear channels, able to receive, able to decide, able to use their words in the most elevated ways. To Archangel Raphael, for any of us that need to be healed in our heart and our mind, if someone around us needs healing, allow this energy to be heard, this prayer to be heard, and let's see how to do that today. And also calling in to the presence of this reading any ancestral energy, higher energies, ascended masters that can filter through the archangels that we just talked about to assure that we are connecting with the highest good. You are welcome as well. And we've set the intentions. I'd like to welcome everybody. Thank you for attending as well, for bringing your own energy here. Much appreciated. Okay? We're going to begin with channeled messages here. Channeled messages, again, I receive as I connect with my guides and through dreams and through meditation. You have a couple of interesting ones today. I don't actually think I've used the tulip before. It's been a while, but that's what I was seeing this morning as I was meditating, as well as the hedgehog. Tulips are pretty cool. I mean, you know, I love all types of plants and animals, but bulbs in general are pretty cool. So I decided to geek out and think, like, what is a bulb? They're perennial, which means they come back every year. And it's this particular type of plant called a geophyte, which means that the bulb underneath the surface is a storage organ. And basically it allows for them to store energy in the form of carbohydrates, sometimes water, and it then lets them basically survive a winter or survive a season where there's nothing, and then come back. And that's a really cool sort of totem. I'm not even paying attention to the flowers yet. We're just looking at the bulb that allows for that plant to flourish, right? So this is a really cool Ace of Pentacles from the Light Seers deck, which shows one of the things that I always associate with the Ace card, which is it can be a seed, it can be a bulb, it can be a tuberous root like we see there. So any and all of those things. An ace requires action. The universe hands something to us, and we have to decide, do I receive that? And once you receive it, what are you going to do with it? It's kind of like a relay race where a baton has been handed off to you. In this case, it's not a baton like a wand, it's the Ace of Pentacles, and it's saying, here's a seed, here's an idea. Are you ready to plant it? Are you ready to do something with it? Let's read what I wrote, because I like it here. A bulb like a seed contains all the necessary elements for growth. So do you. But you must decide to apply the skills and the potential that's within that Ace of Pentacles. So in this moment in time, are you ready? And if you're not ready, when will you be ready? These are sort of like your homework questions here. And then, are you committed, fully committed to it? To want something is one thing, but to do something about the desire, that's another thing. And so the guides this morning kind of were asking me to ask you, if you're committed, then they're committed, but they're looking for a sign from you of that commitment. Just remember, it's your divine right to be happy, to grow, to flourish. That's actually why we come to this planet, is to become better versions of ourselves, to release all of the sort of difficult pieces of ourselves and just basically ascend, right? So embrace and accept that you can be happy, that you can be successful, that you are deserving of these things, and then decide, all right, I'm ready to commit to this. I'm ready to find out how to make this happen, right? I think that this also connects to your synchronicity that's incoming. So there are a couple of cards that I came to mind. One of them was the Judgment one, and one is the Magician, which we'll look at in a moment. The Judgment card is cool because it's saying, I am ready to reimagine, to recreate, and reinvent myself in some way, shape, or form. And I can go like the bulb from that dormancy into a state of activity and abundance. Why? Because all of us, we are limitless cosmic beings, right? And really all that's required is the commitment that we saw in this previous card. Are you committed? And then this ability to release what you were, or to imagine that you're more than you've been led to believe that you are. So let's look at this beautiful Magician card that it came up in a reading that I was doing for, many of you know my mom passed, and I wanted to see where she was in her journey. And this is a very cool card for anybody that has just walked through that gateway, because I laughed when I saw it and thought, of course, you finally believe you can see beyond the veneer, and you're kind of uncovering your true power. We're limited a lot of times in this lifetime by sort of like disbelief, all of this sort of feedback that's been given to us. Hold on, I'm gonna give my dog a little treat. He's saying, Dad, don't forget about me. And here you go, buddy. And what happens when we step through into the unknown, just like this Magician, it's sort of like, wait a second. I get to see underneath the sort of like curtain, the wizard behind the curtain. So this is a moment in time where you are actually being pushed or being given this gift to see yourself differently. We don't have to die to be able to pull back that curtain, to be able to see something that's always been there. but there's a latent energy, there's a latent power that's there for the taking, right for the picking. So you've always had the power. For some reason you tuned into me today, and I'm really glad you did. My message for you is now you can embrace it. Trust in your ability to do something amazing. We all are magicians. We all are high priestess. But we have lost somewhere along the way, many of us, the belief. And the belief is what makes the magic happen. The magic is part of us. We're constituted from stardust, literally. It's not just a figurative statement. Everything on this planet, solar system, etc., is from another star that went supernova, and maybe more than one. So this is your chance to really kind of say, wait, I was among the stars once. I was burning with light. I was pulling things around me in some sort of solar system as well. Why can't I get through this day? Why can't I make this dream happen? Why can't I overcome this obstacle? You can, okay? So I'm here to tell you, you've got that magician energy. And just like my mom on the other side who's waking up, we can wake up here. That's why you're tuning into me. I want all of us to be the magician that's fully awake here. And sometimes you just have to trust in your power. You don't have to explain everything. If I tried to explain why things work metaphysically, it would be exhausting. It just does. Just trust in the flow of the energy and see where it takes you. Receive, stay open, and let your heart be free. When I look at the shapes of tulips, there are a bunch of Ace of Cups, right? Ace of Cups everywhere. And the reason it came through today from the universe is it's saying, all of you right now, pause for a moment and ask yourself, am I happy? Are you? Are you happy with your relationship? You happy with yourself? Are you happy with your job? Is there anything in your life where you wish that there was just a little bit of a change, a little bit more, something that you could ease into? And we're not talking about the Four of Cups. We're talking about sometimes we deny ourselves that chance to really step into something that our heart desires. Life is too short for that. Do something today to bring you closer to your passion. Slow down and listen to your heart. That was one thing that I said here. Are you in alignment with its desires and intentions? We're going to be looking here in just a few moments at some other things that I think are important, which don't let anything be sort of like left unsaid or left undone, because as we enter into this new energy, Easter's around the corner, spring's around the corner, Southern Hemisphere, it's fall, but like we have this energy of change and movement and shifting. So as you're going into this, let's make it a change for the better, something that we were just talking about with Gemini yesterday. So love yourself unconditionally. Are you loving yourself unconditionally? Have you learned to love, accept, and celebrate each and every piece of yourself? And if you haven't, this is one of the things that you can work on right here and right now. I'm going to love my dog unconditionally here for a second as well. Because he's like, Dad, all of this deep talk is stressing me out. So take a moment to just chill out and sort of slow down. And that's what I'm asking Apollo to do. That's what I'm asking all of you to do for a moment. Just slow down and give yourself some unconditional love. And he said, Dad, I need some unconditional love. Are your external relationships in your life, thanks, buddy, are your external relationships in your life also embodying that same sort of energy? Or are there conditions being placed on it? Are people saying, if only you would do this, then I would love you more. If only you could be more like your brother, your sister, your mother, your friend. If only this, then I would be happy. Well, it's your life to live. It's your love as well. So you don't have to change yourself to please others. So make sure that that unconditional love and energy is present in your life. Is there any room to clear the cords? Anything that you've said that has hurt you or others that they have done? That's better, buddy. Thank you. Where you feel that sense of pain or hurt or frustration. This is a chance to bring all of that into a higher love. And just like I did with Apollo, or if you have kids or if you have a loved one, slow down for a moment. And he should chill out here in a second. Slow down for a moment and make time with someone that you care about so that they can find that sort of unconditional love as well. Sometimes you need to lead by example. Once you clear out all this energy, you're making room for a better experience and a better opportunity to step into your life as well. Okay? I have the Six of Cups here. Some of you, this is sort of a reminder card that we're all deserving of that friendship, of that. Hold on a second. What are you doing, buddy? What's going on here? is what you're looking for. There's the treat. So sorry, I just want to make sure my puppy lost his bone. That's what he was looking for. So make sure that you're giving yourself an opportunity to find that higher resonance. If you've settled for something that is less than that, then now is the time to reclaim it, okay? The next totem that we're looking at here is the hedgehog. The hedgehog carries with it two sort of energies, the hermit, and I would say also like the 10 of swords, the 7 of wands. The hermit is for inner, kind of like rolling yourself in and kind of inner discovery and protection. The 7 of wands is a defense mechanism. The spiky sort of energy can bring us to the 10 of swords. So let's break them down one by one. So, of course, they're famous for their prickly spines. They have it everywhere but their face and their belly. When they curl into that little ball, just like a snail would go inward, or one of those sort of, those little insects, what are they, potato bugs or roly-polies, they kind of go inward, same sort of thing. So some of us are going within because we're afraid of being seen, because we have some internal work to do, but it's a wall that's being built too. So be mindful of the amount of time you spend in that inward position. So much of what I'm picking up on this month is about going outward and using the energy that basically the hermit discovers in that star to really break out. So don't deny yourself that. Give yourself a chance to go there. Show people your potential. Do the work by all means first, but once you've done it, there is a time and there is a place to also kind of come out again and just be yourself. The defense mechanism, I think, is probably the strongest piece of this totem and the reason that it came in today. It's not always necessary to be on the defensive. I'm sure we've all known at least one person in our life that before you even say something to them, they're like, they assume that there's criticism. They assume that you think they've done something wrong. Sometimes we can be like that if we're in a place where there's just been a lot of stress. So the first thing that I would say is, of course, there are areas in our life where we want to protect ourselves. And sometimes you need a lawyer, sometimes you need advice, sometimes you need protection. But I think it's a lot more effective to enter into a situation with the idea that let's de-escalate this. Let's say you've been overcharged for something and you're going to talk to someone on the phone. You want to start off not with sort of the assumption that someone's out to get you or that there's not going to be a good workaround. Instead, you're going to say, hey, this has never happened before. I've always had a great experience. I just wanted to see if I missed something or if there is a mistake, if we can find a way to remedy it. That's a lot easier than, why are you stealing my money or something like that. So how you approach it, and also if you assume that something can be positively resolved, then typically it can, and that can be really exciting. So lead by example. If someone else is in that stressful state, then say, hold on a second. We're on the same page here. I'm on your side, or there really are no sides. I just want to find out what's going on, and de-escalate. So de-escalate others' tension if you can. Try not to put too much of your own defensive energy out there. Try to go into it with a neutral mind. That could be another way that I would have titled this. So approach all situations with neutrality, and then if necessary, you can escalate. But usually you want to try to find a way to neutralize or somehow bring into equilibrium what's going on. Choose your words wisely. With this particular totem, someone else could be a little bit prickly in putting up all of those spines, or you may have that sort of inclination right now. A little fun fact that I didn't know about hedgehogs, they're immune to certain types of poisonous plants. So what they do is they will eat those, and then they will lick the spines with their tongue and basically infuse them with poison. That way, if a predator tries to attack, they're going to get poisoned. I look at these as, whenever I see swords or arrows or whatever, it's like those barbs that we send out there. There are different cards in tarot that would be kind of associated with this particular totem and a warning in the totem. To me, it would be the 10 of Swords, the 5 of Swords, and the Queen of Swords reversed. The 10 of Swords and 5 of Swords upright basically are as follows. 10 of Swords can be just someone saying something that they know will hurt you, or vice versa. Very rarely will have a positive effect. It may feel good in the moment, but it won't feel good later. I also put at the bottom, like grudges and things like this, when you hurt someone, the poison arrows in real life hit in both directions. So you want to be careful of that. 5 of Swords, you can't win an argument with some people. They're not going to let you. because they just want to always be right. So if you're in the sort of presence of that, then you want to focus on something that's more receptive. And then the Queen of Swords reverse knows how to say something and sometimes says it the way that they shouldn't, just because, again, we all have our moments where we're triggered. Or it can be an inadvertent thing where it's like, you asked for my honest opinion, here is what it is. But you may not know how much time, energy, and love they put into something before it was criticized. So we want to be careful of hurt feelings. Hurting our own, hurting someone else's, or being whatever. Basically, any way that we can try to get to the bottom of something, I think is going to be really, really important here. And if we go back into the earlier slides here, I think that unconditional love is really key. Staying open to possibilities is key. Understanding that you have the power to do almost anything that you put your mind to. Paying attention to synchronicities as well. And then committing to something. Those are the things that I would focus on. When there's one negative thing, don't let that kind of be like the spice that's going to go on top of everything and sour it, okay? Let me grab my glasses from the other room, and then we're going to get started on the forecast. All right. Sorry, buddy. Apollo's a little jumpy today. All right, so we're going to get now into the Celtic Cross. The Celtic Cross is going to basically take us through the next 6 to 8 weeks. And like I said, you can always use it for Sun, Rising, Moon, and Venus. I get that question a lot. Today we're going to look at Sun, Rising, and Moon independently a little bit later, so stick around for that. All right, so let's go ahead and zoom in so you can see everything, and let's get this started. I'm just choosing the deck today because I felt sort of inclined to use this particular one. We're looking at the True Heart Intuitive. If you ever need any of the decks that I'm using, you can always go to my website and you'll see them there. Apollo's he's fine now, but he's a very empathetic little guy. And he knew we were talking about some big things today. So sometimes if I'm on the phone dealing with a difficult call or we're dealing with difficult things, he can feel the energy. When I was manifesting, finding that lovely soul, I wanted a dog that was intuitive. So careful what you wish for, right? Very interesting today, a lot of reversals. So I do shuffle the deck quite a bit, by the way, but when the reversals come through, it shows new energies, new potential. So you'll see we have a lot of uprights here, some reversals here, and an upright in the center. It's almost like not quite a 50-50, it's more like a 70-30 mix today. So to me, that's fine. What I'm seeing is many of you kind of on this precipice of a move or shift, and you need some help. You need a little bit of a push. So I'll help you today. People who say you need to shuffle the deck more or don't read with reversals, that would be like stopping the alphabet midway or ignoring certain signs that are on the road. There's no reason to do that. We always want to read things and understand what's coming through. So I always like to see all the information present. All right, some beautiful energy. I love a lot of the people cards that are coming through before I even get into anything. I mean, look, we got the Four of Wands, the Lovers card, the Star card, some really great energy in relationships. You might be getting through something, but something else big is coming through on the other side. So let's break this down card by card. All right, we're going to start first with the Temple card, which was your catalyst today. So the way that a catalyst functions is it's a way for you to stay in the highest possible energy, to tap into that potential. You know, we were looking at that Magician card where she had one hand over her eye and then was kind of like starting to see the unseen. And so for many of us, this is a reminder to take some time for meditation, to go within, and to understand that we also might be going, just like the Hierophant card, if it were to appear, sometimes traditional sort of like regimented forms of worship, religions and structures and sort of hierarchies is the word I was looking for. They may not embody where you are in mind, body, and spirit. So the temple for each of us is different. I was talking to one of my cousins the other day, and we were talking about how for us, like for me, taking a hike, going out and being in the canyon, that's like the temple. Or, spending some time with my dog on a walk later, that can be the temple. You don't have to be in an old sort of dusty building with stained glass and all of that. That is just a building. The temple is within, the temple is around, the temple is your connection to things. My grandfather, who's been gone a long time, I think he passed away in the 90s, but he basically reminded me, like he didn't like to go to organized religion or anything. His wife would do that, my grandmother, but he said, no, I get more out of sitting here in the garden and listening to the birds and, looking at the vegetables and sort of relaxing. So this was kind of new agey of him in the late 90s to think that, but his temple was his garden outside. So the reason I love flowers so much is because of my maternal grandfather, and he had a green thumb. So getting out in nature can actually really help you connect to the heart space. So if you're feeling depressed, anxious, overwhelmed, of course, standard disclaimer applies whenever that happens. I would say talk to a professional. But another way spiritually, and that's what I'm really here to help you out with, spiritually what you can do is decide to ground your energy. Literally working with the ground can help you. So gardening, just meditating by a tree. For those of you that will complain and say it's cold weather or it's inclement or whatever, just being outside for a little bit helps, even if it's a walk in the rain or a walk in the snow. It all works the same way. It helps us get out of our head space. Connect with something that's vital to you as well. So that could be drawing, music, dance, cooking, mathematics. Whatever gets you excited, do that, connect with that, and allow yourself to get lost in that for a little bit, and that's going to help you. Because a lot of times when we're not trying so hard, we're able to pick up on something intuitive, an epiphany, right? So there you go. Let's take a look at the cards here. Right at the center, we have the Queen of Cups, which is nicely in alignment to the tulip that we talked about with our main totem today. So Queen of Cups, she is absolutely ready to receive love, abundance, opportunity, and messages in the highest form from the highest source. So are you ready? If you're ready for love this month, this portends great things. If you want to fix a relationship as well, this is also a good card. And for those of you that are more career-oriented or school-oriented, what this is saying is you are, like one of my intentions earlier, you are a channel, a clear channel. So all you have to do is connect with this space in your body and say, I'm ready to trust this, receive this, and somehow make this kind of connect to what I'm doing right now. So love and relationships definitely are going to take a prominent position this month. We have the Four of Wands crossing that Queen of Cups. So for some of you, you could be connecting to or with another water sign. You could also just be deciding to let people in. I talked about the hedgehog kind of opening up. So for some of you, when we look at these two cards on top of each other, this would be you, Cancer, the Queen of Cups, and this is the people that want to connect with you. So if you're ready, then this is a chance to develop, deepen, or find friendships. And for some of you, you might decide to take something to a deeper level. So in the case of a love relationship, this could be commitment. The Four of Wands is definitely commitment, and monogamy. For those of you that just met a great person, it could also just be a deep friendship and bond that is there. And for the rest of you, there could be this chance to present yourself in a way where people want to invest in you. So at a job, for instance, if you kind of knock it out of the park, so to speak, and just do an amazing job with meeting deadlines, working well with others, because the Four of Wands is definitely that, they're going to see you and think, we want you to be like a permanent piece of this team. So commitment. And that it totally goes along with what I said earlier, which is, are you committed? An Ace of Pentacles, by the way, if I'm doing a love reading, is an offer for love. Someone saying they love you, someone offering to move in or asking you to move in with them, a proposal of marriage, an opportunity. It can also be a job offer. But this is basically an offering, and that's why I said, are you committed? And guess what? We got the commitment card here. So people may just be coming to you and saying, we like you. Maybe saying we love you. And do you feel that too? And so you're just going to be asked to not necessarily even reciprocate, but maybe articulate. Easier said than done. But you might have to find a way to kind of say what's on your mind. So think it through. The most challenging thing that some of you have been dealing with up until this point, as we look at the deep past, is deciding who you are, deciding what you want, and concentrating. Seven of Cups is many things. It's like exploring all the possibilities, but one thing that it is usually not is clarity. It's more about opening, discovering, contemplating, but very rarely is it absolute, like, I know what I want. It's the necessary phase, though, that comes right before it. So unless you get to look at everything in the catalog of your life, whatever it is that you're trying to understand, there could be buyer's remorse, so to speak. You would think, oh, if I'd only looked at this, or if I'd only done that, or if I'd only said this. So this is your chance to wrap this up. The card in reverse does say decision time. Different than when it's upright. When it's upright, I would say, give yourself the time to look at everything. What I see is that many of you have taken the time that you needed, and now you just need to sort of ask the questions to limit the scope a little bit to get a little bit more clarity. So my advice to you, my question to you is, what is it that you need to feel good about making the next leap of faith, the next decision, the next movement? Whatever that is, my advice for you right now is to do that. If you need to ask a question, if you need to connect with someone, if you just need to act, then go for it, because it looks like you've had enough time in many areas to sort of like sort it out and think it through. Know that no matter how many people you ask, invariably you're going to find people on both sides. So you'll have to go back into the heart and trust it for yourself. And if you're making a decision on behalf of someone else, you'll make the right choice. I can see that with this, but there's always that questioning, like, could I have done something different? Okay. Yay for this. In recent past, and by the way, since we read in advance on this channel, this is happening now. Some of you are wrapping up the exploration and the research, and now you're moving towards the Lovers. So the Lovers card, one of the best cards I can pull. Someone asked me what my favorite cards are in tarot, then ended up giving me a mug, which I think I need to wash it first before I do it. But I said, the Star is amazing. By the way, you got it today. And I said the Lovers as well. Those are two of my top cards, because this is a magnet and this is the most authentic you. And lo and behold, we got them. And so two of my favorite, not necessarily the only ones, but I think they're amazing because of their vibrancy and their energy. The Sun card is pretty awesome too. I like stars, I like light, I like love. So those cards embody it. So with this in reverse, what's happening for some of you is there is someone that may love you more than you love them. There's someone that may love you more than you love yourself. There could be an offer on the table where it doesn't feel like either you think you're good enough or you think that they're good enough. So what you have to do right now is remove the filters for a second and just go within, like we've been talking about with the Ace of Cups at the center, and think, no, seriously, why am I vacillating? On a core level, if you are interviewing for a job, or if you're on a first date, or if you're looking at a house that you're going to buy, because these are all considerations. Do I like it? Do I love it? Do I love this person? Without spending a lot of time, how you feel about it. You step into a house and you either like it or you don't. After a date or two, sometimes 5 minutes, if there's a true spark. And the rest of the time, you're trying to convince yourself that you're either right or wrong. But immediately on a lot of these situations. And the same thing happens with a job. When the offer's on the table, if it's good enough or not. So I want you to trust the inner knowing and then move from that. And if something isn't good enough, then release it. It was just a test from the universe asking you, how deep is your love for yourself? How much do you respect yourself? Have you done the work required for the unconditional love? Do you love yourself enough to walk away from something that could be safe and cozy but may not be exactly what you want? So if you don't feel the love, don't do it. If you feel the love, do it. And stop vacillating. That's going to be the most challenging thing here. But you are a heart-centric sign, so trust the emotion, trust the heart. It won't lead you astray. Star card, reversed, crowning position. So many of you, despite the fact that we see a magnetic energy, the lovers can be people very much invested, very much interested in who you are and what you have to offer. This is your recoiling energy that I got with the hedgehog, the star card reversed. The star has everything, like the seed that we were looking at in the bulb earlier, has everything it needs to succeed. It literally is one of the brightest and best cards here. So all that holds you back from success sometimes is dimming your light, is someone in your life that has taught you that shining and being the radiant, sort of resplendent soul that you are is somehow not right or somehow won't work for you. And they're wrong. You know who you are, you know how to do this, and this is your moment to be more authentic and connected to that higher version of yourself. It's just about taking the edit switch off a little bit when it comes to expression and your decision-making process as well. The star can be a lonely card, but there's a lot of people around you. This is because there's leadership that's a part of this. This is because there's a lot of eyes on you. And so sometimes when you step into this different level of accountability and visibility, it can feel a little bit isolated. And you think to yourself, how am I going to do this? What am I going to do about this? I mean, I have news for you. It's going to be okay, but that initial part is always a little bit awkward as you take the training wheels off, as you step into that. Remember that you are supported. And as long as you see and trust and feel that love within, other people are going to take the lead and take the cue from you. So this is a chance to stand up, stand out, be a little bit more visible. And for those of you that happen to own your own business, or maybe you're always the quiet one at school or at work, this is a time where you can't be basically a wallflower. You could be put on the spot, but you're going to excel during this period. Why? Because right here we have the Three of Pentacles, okay? And the Three of Pentacles shows me that you've done the work. Normally this is, it's always a great card, but in the upright position it would say recognition. With the star reversed and the Three of Pentacles reversed, what we see is recognition to someone who might feel a little bit shy, who may not like the attention, who might still not know who they are or where they stand. So I would say the more you can articulate what your life purpose is, what your decision is about something, and to say it and feel it and embody it, the better you're going to be, because other people will then pick up on that confidence and the inner work that you've done. I don't use them anymore. I still use them for notes occasionally, but index cards are really good. I use them in my life, not in the readings. But if you can limit what you want to say to like one side of one of these, that's going to be really effective. So let's say someone wants you to summarize your life purpose. Maybe it is to protect and to nurture children. Maybe it is, like me, to have interesting conversations about spirituality and to really raise the collective consciousness. It could be any number of things, but if you can say it in a few sentences, in a few words, people can get behind that. It's when you kind of ramble that they don't understand where you are. So I would love for you to focus on who you are, what you want, and what you're trying to do. Those are like the three prompts. Who are you? Life purpose, etc. What are you trying to do on this planet? And then anything else that you're trying to accomplish, maybe even in general. What are you learning? Why do you believe something? Just kind of get behind it. Think your way through it, because a lot of times we just go around like a pinball machine? Yeah. So waiting for someone else to push us in the right direction, waiting for something to land in our back, or in our pocket rather. And I would say for you are the magician that I saw earlier, as well as the star, as well as being able to make great things happen here with the Three of Pentacles. So own the power. All right, back into traditional sort of messages with the Three of Pentacles. So anything that you start, you have a great chance of finishing. This is a really cool card for that. The other thing I would say with this is that recognition in and of itself may be nice, but it isn't the end goal in what we're doing and why we're doing it here. You're doing it because you want to. You're doing it because your soul is growing. You're doing it because you believe in it. And as long as you make that work the best possible work in your life, Doesn't matter what awards you have, what certificates are hanging on the wall, how many stars you have, how many likes you get. If you've done it to your best capacity and you feel good about it, then you get all the gold stars available, and you are the star. You don't need it because you are the star. So that's basically what I see. Finish it the way that you want to finish it, and understand that that in and of itself is graduation. This is a great card for going back to school, for expanding the mind. So this could be learning something on your own, taking up a trade, taking up a hobby, talking to someone about something that you love, like a book club or something of that nature. But it definitely is integration work. And for some of you, it's completing something. It can also be home improvements. Very rarely do I read it as that, but it is, because if you look at the traditional card, you'll see someone finishing up this archway, and it's work well done. But look at the code and look at the law, look at the legalities, and make sure that everything's okay, because you want to feel good about others seeing what you've done. So don't do anything that you wouldn't want to receive. Don't treat anyone in a way that you wouldn't want to be treated. So do everything as if you were going to get it, as if this was for you. And that's going to reinforce what we've seen here. You're living in your highest light. You're putting your heart into everything. You're supporting others, and you're loving others. And then you get that stuff right back because it's solid work, okay? Let's look at what's going on with you. Some of you are a little tired. We have the Strength card, which is a symbol of inner strength, the ability to also overcome even the most challenging adversaries. When the card's reversed, sometimes we're spending too much energy on trying to convince others, control others, fix other people in our life. And ultimately, this is saying, if you spend all of that energy externally, your inner battery conks out a little bit, and you're not going to have enough to get to the finish line. And you have too many positive cards this month. So you can't afford to abuse your mind or your body by putting way too much energy in something that's not reciprocating. And if you are a strong and powerful person, which you are, you don't have to prove it. You don't have to say it all the time. Let people come to you, particularly in the area of advice. If you see something and you have a lot to say, you could drop a hint. You could say, by the way, did you know I used to do that? Yeah. If you ever want to talk, I'm here. Put it out there like that, and then just let it go. Let them think about that a little bit. Or if they're struggling through something, you can just say, yeah, I have some ideas if you ever want to hear them, but that's up to you. Just kind of throw it out there as a life preserver if they need it, and they'll come to you if they need it. Then focus on doing your own stuff. So the Strength card or the Queen of Wands, whenever these two cards are reversed, I would say, even the Empress, all of them are like pinnacles of leadership and divine femininity, but they can sometimes go astray when they spend too much energy worrying about others. So that's my only warning for you, Cancer, this month, is to really focus on internal strength and growth. Take care of your body. So for some of you, this is an encouragement to, work on physical fitness, diet, or mental health this month, whichever, or all of the above if it's appropriate, whichever calls to you. Because that's the vessel. This is the vessel that allows you to be the strong channel that you are, that you're capable of being, and I want you to have what it takes to continue to be that, okay? Let's look in the environment for you and see what's coming in here. So we have the Three of Swords modified by the Wheel of Fortune. When I was reading for Gemini yesterday, I believe that I had the Tower and Three of Swords and Tower, something like that. So this is a common theme that I'm seeing across signs this month. For you, it's less like in your direct energy as much as it is in your environment, because that's what we're looking at. So around you, there could be people who are unhappy and who have a difficult time. Let's start with the Three of Swords. Have a difficult time seeing the positive. I love how this heart has an eye on it. So some people may only see the critical elements in things. And there's nothing wrong with constructive criticism. There's nothing wrong with even the critical mind, because it prepares us. Well, what if this happens? What if that happens? Let's get this all lined up. It doesn't mean that it's going to, but I'm ready for that. So, things like insurance and estate planning and all of those sorts of things, security, cybersecurity, all of that. It's good because you don't need it till you need it. When you need it, you're glad that you prepared for it. So I'm all for that. But if it's all that you see, if it's all that you focus on, that's a little challenging. Some of you could be around a person that is depressed or unhappy. There could also just be this energy at work, school, or your circle of friends where there's something wrong, something's off, and it's either negativity or pain or disgruntled energy. So the most important thing that you could do is to try to think, how can I either neutralize or acknowledge or release this toxicity that's somehow around me so that I can be the best version of myself. Some of you need to get out of a toxic job. So we have the Wheel of Fortune on top of this, and it's saying that no amount of money is really going to get rid of whatever this is. So if that's the case, a change for the better when it comes to work or a roommate situation or some sort of an exchange where you're paying or giving something for something else. So again, typically a job. So if that's going on, then it's time to clean it up and find something different. I see a change for the better. So when you've decided enough is enough, the universe answers by showing you what's possible, okay? Some of you are going to get a new job this month. Some of you might find a new apartment. Some of you may find new love, because this is a rebound card too, but you've got a lot of lovely energy here. So I would say heal yourself and work through all the levels of grief, of forgiveness, of all of that. And that's going to be important before all this cool stuff starts to come into your life. This, by the way, this trifecta, actually it's more than that. It's 4 cards here. This is saying you're ready. This is what you're calling in. This is the sort of resonance of it, which would be a deep soul partnership. So whatever it is, whether it's a friend or a job or a marriage, I like what I'm seeing here. You've got all the requisite pieces. All that gets in the way, though, is seeking external validation or approval, trying to mute your light potentially, being indecisive, or choosing something that doesn't make you happy over something that does. It exhausts you then. So it's controllable stuff. You just can't make everyone happy. Money's not everything, and acceptance and approval isn't everything. So once you release all of those blocks, then you can get back into that lovely energy with the cards that I just highlighted, okay? Let's take a look at the hopes, fears, and opportunities. And what a cool card to come through for that. We have the Fool. Look at how the Fool in this particular deck is transparent. When I was focusing on it, the Fool card conveyed this message to me, which is, if I do this, will I disappear? If I leave this job and this title, if I leave this relationship as the spouse, as the mother, as the father, whatever it is that you're doing, who am I if I'm not this? It's not that you're afraid to take a risk. You're afraid to let go of what you were. It's been a long time since I worked in my corporate job. I left in 2015, and it's been a while now. But I remember at the beginning saying things like, when people would ask me, because I just changed careers, and a lot of the people were judgmental because they were in corporate. And so they were like, well, what are you doing now? And how is this going to look on your resume and all of that? And so initially I remember talking about my work in a way where I would say, well, I used to be doing this and now I'm doing this. I realized, though, that was a lot like the star card in reverse. I was denying who I was. And when you deny who you are, you also deny how brightly you can shine. So today, if someone asks what I do, I would say I'm a content producer. I'm a spiritual person as well. I coach spiritually. And I'm a tarot reader. Like, just own it. I'm all of those things. But I would say I'm here to raise consciousness. And I do that through producing creative projects for the public. So I am a producer. I am a creator. I'm also a psychic, intuitive tarot reader. So I tell people that, and I usually get some great conversations because they don't expect all these things to kind of go together. But I'm not ashamed of anything. I just wasn't ready to embrace it initially. So if you are on the precipice of change, and let's say you're divorced, well, that's not who you are. If someone asks who you are, you don't say, well, I'm a recent divorcee. You would just say, I am this, and this is what I'm doing. And if they ask if you're dating anyone, say, no, I'm single. I'm separated and single, divorced. You can put it in there, but don't define yourself by what you aren't or what you used to be. Define yourself by what you're becoming. Imagine that you're meeting yourself at the bar, like you're dating. You're inviting yourself out for a date. And the conversation goes something like this. I'm stuck in a job I don't like. My relationship kind of sucks. I'm trying to do this, but it hasn't worked. I'm having a lot of bad luck here, and I'm kind of depressed. So it's good that you know what's going on, but wouldn't it be more powerful to say, I'm at a point in my life where I'm ready for change. I see what's not working, and I also now know what I really want. And this is where I see myself headed. I'm excited to take the first step. I'm not there yet, but I'm taking the first step. That's more empowered than stating all the things that aren't. It's good to know what isn't. It's good to know what you don't want, but it's also good to know what you want and how you're going to get there. So this month, because you have the power of people around you, Queen of Cups, Four of Wands, and the Lovers. Also, ostensibly someone new coming in with the Queen of Swords and the Fool here, and maybe even a great mentor here. So you're not alone. You've got this attractive, sort of sticky, energetic sort of bubble around you. So define what you want to be, what you will be, and lay out all the chips in the road so you can see how it's going to happen. If you do that, you are walking toward the new you, and you're not transparent. You're actually just starting to fill in all the lines. Sometimes you have to clear it out. And that's why the Fool is called, it's a zero. It doesn't actually have a number. I mean, the zero is a number, but it has no value because it's a reset. The value is the openness. It could just as easily be a blank card, the Fool, like a chalkboard with a big zero on it. But not even that, because you would want it to be clean. So this is that place where you get to play in the sandbox. And that's the big possibility for you this month is imagine that you have, like a shovel, a pail, and you get to make your own sandcastle, your own sort of version of you. You're whatever you want to be. And the longer that you're not, like one thing that kind of makes me laugh, I still have a LinkedIn, but I don't use it. But whenever I log into it, it's always people kind of like just talking about projects and titles and promotions. And I don't like that social media network because that's kind of all it is. And it makes you feel bad sometimes. So when you leave that kind of culture, what you realize later is who cares if you have 2 or 3 letters after your name, or if you have Vice or whatever in front or after, whatever it is. In the whole scheme of things, particularly since I've just gone through helping someone transition, I'm dealing with all the stuff that's left behind. It's just one of those accoutrements. Your diplomas and your awards and all this other stuff, it doesn't go with you to the other planet. To the other dimension. The only thing that goes with you through time and space is the skills. I mean, it's good if you learn stuff and if you got something out of it. So the knowledge, the memories, and the love, that goes with you. Everything else, it's on this planet. So don't worry about the title. Worry about what you're doing with it. Worry about who you are internally. And as long as you are growing and you feel like the CEO of your life, you are the CEO of your life, right? Yeah, it is humble bragging. I was avoiding saying the word, but I can't look at LinkedIn. It's my least favorite social media network. So that is what it is. Okay, fresh start. Take a fresh start. Try something different this month. And you can imagine, I've been using this metaphor that you're at the buffet of your life. And so you didn't like this. This was something really sour and you didn't like it. There's so much more there. Try something new. I do like that she has not a tulip, but a daffodil. I'll take it. She's basically saying, I'm ready to embrace that opportunity. Let's tap into that store of energy that we talked about with the bulb and go there, okay? Where is all of this taking you? Well, in a really nice direction, it looks like. Because your final card here, not your final card, but your outcome card is the Queen of Swords. And what I like about this is, to me, this is the epitome of being able to articulate, take action, and really lead in a way that's kind of fierce. She's one of the best leadership cards. So of the different queens here that we could get, the Queen of Pentacles really good with money and growing things and taking care of others. Queen of Wands, she's amazing because she can think through any situation. Good at engineering too. Queen of Cups, super creative. I would want her on a movie, like creative director, art director, writer, etc. The Queen of Swords, though, she's the one you go to. She's like the producer of everything, producer, director. She's like, do this, don't do this, listen to me. She brings it all together. She's the top sometimes when it comes to all of that. Around her, we see all these little butterflies. So you are going to lead yourself through change right now, and people are going to look to you to make sure that you're ready for the change. So this is why, all my friends out there, that I'm telling you earlier that it's important for you to really know yourself. Because in that moment when someone looks into your eyes and says, are we, how do you feel about this? What do you think? Or are we on the same page? They're going to read the doubt if it's there. So I want you to be the strong Queen of Swords where you look them straight in the eyes and you say, yeah, this is what I want. This is what I think. Or no, this is how we should do it. Okay? Let's expand this forecast. We're going to look at health, wealth, love, and destiny and get a deeper feel for everything that's available to you. Okay. I like to look at health as 3 different things: mind, body, and spirit. In your health position right here, we have the inner child healing. So for some of you, it doesn't matter if your parent is living or dead. It doesn't matter if you have a child or not. This doesn't really have to do with that as much. We look at this card in reverse, and what it's saying is there was a piece of me in the past that either I left behind or got stunted in growth, or there was a seed of doubt that was planted and it wasn't my own. So what you're going to do this month is to spiritually go into that energy and smooth out the wrinkles a little bit. So someone in the past could have said, as I said earlier, that there were like too many conditions on the attachment to their love. I love you when you do this, but not when you do this, and I wish you would do this all the time. Be more like this. So they're putting conditions. It's only good when you are this or that. Someone who thought that you couldn't achieve something that you wanted, and therefore they judged you. Any kind of judgment that you can think of, there can be that conditional love. You could have been hard on yourself. You could have just said, look at my friends. Look at my brother, my sister, my mother, my friend, whomever. Look at this celebrity. Look at this friend on LinkedIn. Whatever it is, and you're thinking, why can't I be more like this? So you first have to think, I'm strong, I'm capable, I have potential. I'm going to use that potential, and I'm going to develop something within myself. If you're inspired by someone else, which can sometimes come through initial jealousy, but then you think, but wait a second, I could do this too. What can I do to create something similar in my life? Be inspired, don't be jealous. And be inspired to be the best you. And if someone in your life said you weren't capable of it, you tuned in today to hear from me that you are capable of it, and it's just a choice of committing right now. Bullying, teachers that say mean things, other people in our lives that said mean things from childhood, it can stick sometimes. The adult knows better. So you could just imagine a meditation where you're sitting down and sitting across from your younger version of you and just saying, we turned out okay, didn't we? It ended up being all right. And you can use also any unfinished goals right now in your life and kind of like say, these are going to be my motivation now. I want to show everyone and prove everyone that they were wrong and prove that I was right. It's not about right versus wrong, but it's about your vision. Prove that your vision was a valid one and just see whatever it is through to completion. Okay? Much more mental and emotional inner healing than anything, but again, that's what I was getting. I'm going to take a look at the cards now to see if there's anything in the mind, body, or spirit that I want to talk about. But again, I like to remind everyone I'm not a physician, I'm a tarot reader, and I'm here to help you out with the energetic blocks. So if you have any problems, go to the doctor when it comes to your health, but I'm going to help you with the spiritual components. All right, spiritually speaking, what's going on? Well, first of all, even doctors would agree with this. Unhappiness has a way of manifesting itself in the human body. So if you are sad in the heart space, so if you're feeling a lot of stress in a relationship, if you've just gone through a loss, if there's anything going on, things like you could have hypertension, you could have irregular heartbeat, you could be eating too much and blood sugar could go off. So focus on heart health, and heart health comes from multiple areas of your life, from exercise to diet to hereditary markers. But that's the area of weakness this month is the heart. So focus on taking care of yourself and loving yourself, spiritually speaking, and then work with professionals in the other areas to monitor that. That's the area of weakness. You actually have pretty good cards elsewhere, but let's talk about a couple of things. Distraction, concentration, a lack of focus is what I see here with the Seven of Cups. Peer pressure, family pressure, group pressure with all the people around you. The Lovers and the Four of Wands kind of almost completely eclipsing the energy of the Queen of Cups, and then this external visibility that's happening with the star there. So there's just a lot of pressure on you. A pressure to succeed, because that's what the Three of Pentacles is. That can be, again, graduation or getting that gold star. So be kind to yourself. I think that's the most important thing here. Walking is a good thing. Talk to your doctor about how you can do that effectively, what pace, how much makes sense for you. Getting into nature makes sense. Remembering that you're not part of the wallpaper when I look at this. So if there's anything that's going on where you feel like you're blending in or not being seen, that's also coming through. And then exhaustion is the main thing that I'm picking up, and I saw that way back at the beginning. So get enough sleep, make sure that you're exercising well enough, and all of that is going to be setting you up for success. Moving on to the wealth card, we have the cautionary shark. All right, so the shark, first of all, can be good. I always like to look at our totems with both positive and not so positive things so that you can kind of see the potential here. What's good about the shark? Well, it's hard working. It basically doesn't go to sleep, if I remember the energy around this totem. They're always swimming, they're always moving. So I like the relentless and persistent and perseverant energy that seems to be going into projects and activities around you. The shark is the king of the sea, basically. One of the kings of the sea. I mean, whales can also be there, but to me, this would be like a lion, right? So it can be King of Cups energy, believe it or not. I've talked about that before. Sharks and whales, I would kind of put in a similar category. So depending on which part of the ocean you're in, to me, this tells me your emotions are ruling everything. People can be pulled into your energy because of how much passion that you have, or into your projects or activities. So everything about this shark tells me like hardworking, top of the food chain, really great passion and energy, sometimes to the point that others don't even want to challenge it because, again, there's this sort of intimidating air that's about you if you're playing your cards right. Now, all of that is the positive, and that's what you want to focus on. The piece you want to be careful of is there could be someone that's a little sneaky. This is the Seven of Swords. This is the moon. This is the devil, as much as it is the positive. So you can embody the positive elements that I just talked about, and you want to be mindful of someone who's kind of sneaking around like the Seven of Swords, not telling the complete truth like the moon, or outright lying or trying to kind of like make a power play like the devil would, okay? It's around you. It's avoidable. It's not you, though, so just be mindful of that. I always like to look at both energies. I'm never going to sugarcoat. So let's look at the central cards and see what messages come through with respect to work and opportunities. It's a good month for you. It's a great month for you, actually. Because what I see here is so much recognition. This is a month for you to, if you need to have a difficult conversation with your boss about, your ability to go out for a promotion, get paid more, etc. If you need to have a difficult conversation with the spouse about how you're spending money, what you want to do, etc., whatever, this is a good time for you to be very effective at that, and probably be able to pull someone into wanting to help you out as well. So I like this. You're set up for success when it comes to achieving, receiving, and also redefining things. What's necessary, though, is to walk away from unhappiness, trouble, or this feeling that things won't work out. Sometimes when we're about to take this leap into the great unknown, this great opportunity, the universe throws the shark and the Three of Swords our way. And it's a test. All right, you're almost there. We think you've got this. Here's a temptation. Here's a challenge. Are you going to rise to the occasion, or are you going to lose it? So you're going to rise to the occasion, and you're going to be okay. But there's one little test that might be interspersed this month with a lot of positivity. Don't let this derail you. As long as you stay focused and stay positive, I do believe that you're going to be in a good space energetically, okay? If you're unhappy, find something else at work. Some of you are in a glass ceiling, and people look through you, they don't see you. Someone else will. So this is a really good month for you to move on, move up, move out if you need to when it comes to like work opportunities, okay? Too much is positioned in a positive way for you. Some of you have just been of service too. I'll just leave it there. And that's why the Temple card is there. So you almost feel bad, like, I don't want to walk away from this because there's still more work to be done. But it's okay if that's what you feel like you need to do right now. A move might be necessary to find the job or the place that you're looking for. Okay. Quick notes for those of you that are pre-career. Let's say that you're a college student. Keep doing what you're doing. This may be a stressful period, but I do see everything lining up the way that it should. If you've just started and you're not happy, do a 180 when you can. This can be a change in focus, a change in major. It still all looks like it will work out. For those of you that are retired, you know, life is, I don't say life is short, I say life is unpredictable. So today, do something that matters. Make a trip, make a plan, take care of yourself. And it looks like you could have like a travel partner on some of these things. So whether you're going to travel with a pet, which can be the Fool, or a younger child, or a friend that kind of just is playful, like make a trip, make a plan, do something fun, and do it soon. Do it within the next couple of months so that you can enjoy. Okay? Things are okay. When I'm looking at wealth overall, I see, if not the opportunity to get advancement where you're at, then recognition, success, possibly because you decide to step out and be yourself. So just be yourself this month. That's the main thing that I could say here. And be careful of anyone. If you don't trust someone, don't go down that path. You know better, they know better. It will be okay. And it probably will be advantageous when you just sort of step away from that. Okay? Pretty good across the board, I have to say. For those of you that are trying to do an announcement or launch something, within the next 3 months is ideal. And I see a lot of positive receipt. Queen of Cups, Four of Wands, the Lovers, and the Star. It's all good press, okay? So it's a great time right now, financially. Let's move on to the Love card here. We have memory. Okay. Some of you might be waxing nostalgic to the past. I used the Six of Cups when I was highlighting a card earlier, or highlighting a message earlier. And the Six of Cups can be a reunion with an old friend, an old lover, someone from the family with whom you've maybe been what's the best word? Separated from. And if that's estranged, that's the word I was looking for. And so some memories could be coming into your head. By the way, the Seven of Cups has this sort of, someone's on your mind is what happens with this. So if you're thinking of someone or they're thinking of you, what's happening now are the energetic waves are crossing a little bit and you're starting to connect. So there's power in those memories. Decide why they're coming back and what you want to do about them. If you've lost someone, you might be just sort of sorting through all of how that feels for you. And there's a healing that happens in that period of time too. So realize that memories are very much like this. It's a lens that you put on top of something. So it's a lens from our perspective, painted with our own sort of feelings as well. So don't give too much power to those memories. Just know that they're here to teach, to trigger, or to somehow move you into something better, okay? So because this is in love, living in the present is the message here, because the memory card is reversed. So it's good to honor the memory, particularly if you lost someone, but it's also really good to honor the memory by doing something and being present. Bring that person, particularly if it is a loved one, spouse, parent, child, etc., bring them into the present with your actions and with your decisions and with what you're doing, and honor the memory. That's my best advice on that. And then don't live in the nostalgic energy when the person's still here. Do something present, all right? Sometimes people don't forget things. So as we take a look at those of you that are in love, looking for love, or single and happy, particularly the relationship end of it, I want to see if there's something that people have a hard time forgiving or forgetting. It could be a grudge. So let's take a quick look now and break it down a few levels here. So we're going to start with those of you that are in an existing relationship. Well, the good news is the heart's coming through loud and clear here with the Queen of Cups. And it feels like you guys have done a lot of work to be there for each other. So for many people, I see a challenge, but a good resolution to the challenge. One person may be shining a little bit more than the other. So maybe more visibility, some good news, some money, some attention, some press, something where the other partner is not as available because of this scrutiny or visibility. The only thing missing from this spread really is the Six of Wands, because these together show me that a lot of eyes are on you. So try not to let the external taint what you guys have, the internal. So this is an illusion on some levels. We love the star, it's our higher self, but celebrity is an illusion. It's people's projections of who they think you are. It can be a projection of who you want them to think you are, but allow for the true you to just sort of be okay. And in the relationship, the two of you need to be in the real, not the sort of projected persona out there. So that's the only thing that could be getting in the way, is either external optics or attention or visibility. If your partner or you are trying to hold the other person down or back from the growth that's necessary, that also could get in the way. But there's so many positive cards here. I'd like to just think that some of you could be freaked out because things are going well. Because this is commitment, this is love, this is kind of stepping into something really awesome. And we always wait for that other shoe to fall, right? Don't go there. Don't think that way. And that would be my advice. For some of you, there could be someone in your life, like you or your partner has lost someone or experienced a disappointment. Good news here is that you're going to be able to work through this together. You just need some space. You might need some space. Your partner might need some space. Do that, then come back together and talk it out. I do like the fact that we've got the Queen of Swords here, and then we have the Strength card and the Star. So a lot of divine feminine energy sort of surrounding you and your partner. And then you're the Queen of Cups, they're the Queen of Swords. Trust your heart. They may need to talk to you, though. So I would say for you, it's okay to say, I don't know how to say this, or using your own words, even if they're not articulate. However you put it out there, your partner will just be happy to be included. You can just say, today I feel like super stressed out and I don't know what to do about it. Or, I know that you're going through a lot. How can I be there for you? Anything of that nature, just keeping the communication open, even if it's messy, short, or whatever, that's going to be the most important piece of advice that I could give current partnerships. But I do like that, by and large, the cards are good, particularly the outcome. This says, I want to work on it. This says, as long as we talk, we're okay. This says, we're going to give each other some space and work through all of these things. You'll be fine. We didn't get Justice reversed. We didn't get the Devil. We didn't get the Ten of Swords. So there's some challenges, but they're manageable challenges. For those of you looking for love this month, yes, 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 yes. It's very much possible. You need to work on taking care of yourself so that when you meet someone, you look and feel your best. It's really about feeling your best. Don't force something if it's not what you want, because there's a lot of options coming through. So just be open and clean out whatever's going on here in family or work or environment. Clean out the toxicity or the stress that's around you so that more productivity can come through. And taking a trip, doing something in nature, doing some sort of a retreat could also be how you connect to this new love that wants to come in. But looks like it could be an air sign based on what I'm seeing with the Queen of Swords. So I like that. For those of you that are single and happy and just curious, like what should you be paying attention to this month? If you are the hermiting type, I'm sorry to say there's a lot of visibility. And no matter what, you have to navigate engagements with people this month. Parties, interviews, neighbors passing you in the hall and wanting to have a conversation. There's a lot of energy around you. But with that energy comes recognition, could come a job offer, could come a way to kind of get out of a challenging situation. So embrace it. And you may not be looking for love, but you might find it this month, because it's very hard to kind of escape the energy of the Four of Wands, the Queen of Cups. Why would you want to? The Lovers and the Star. So love may come to you even if you're not looking for love. How you could utilize it in a non-romantic way is launching a project, making an announcement, finishing up something, getting someone to purchase something, getting recognition where you need it, but remembering that you never want to force it. You'll get exactly who you need when you need it. And if someone says no or isn't ready, that's okay. All right. So pretty much, sorry to say, but not really. Sorry, not sorry. There's a lot of love coming through in all facets. So whether you're in love, looking for love, or single and happy, a lot of people energy, a lot of love energy, a lot of potential. We have the Lily here in your Destiny card. And the Lily is kind of like what we were just talking about earlier, that ability to open up. Divine feminine energy whenever I see lilies, of course. So for many of you, this is saying not only, particularly for I think I only have like 10 or 15% male viewers that watch here, but I'm so happy you're here and I wish there were more. But for the divine masculine out there, it's saying, I'm ready to do something for myself, for someone that I love. I'm going to nurture. I'm going to connect with the nurturing side. And that makes me stronger. That sensitivity, that approachability, me being able to be a little bit more open is going to be where my strength is. For women, this month, you really have a chance to birth, deliver, and set something out there into the world. And it is figuratively speaking too. This could be you're deciding like, I don't know why I've been waiting for years, but this is the time that I want to do this. So this lily card is an unfurling, and divine masculine or feminine, you can show your true colors. You can receive, just like the tulip, Ace of Cups, and nothing negative at all with the lily. I love it. So if you're ready to do something amazing, this is the time. Are you ready? I hope you are. We have the number 30 on this, so 1 month. A lot can happen in a month. I've had so many sort of crazy things happening just in the past week for my own life. It's amazing how much and how quickly change can happen once you kind of surrender to it. Okay? So let's move on to the next phase of the reading. We're going to look at the big idea. The big idea is one card that maybe can help us get into that developmental energy that you've been setting up to receive. So let's give the cards a shuffle and see what's coming through for the big idea. You got 2, and that's rare, but I'm going to honor it. Is it 2? Yeah, it's just 2. Okay. So we have the King of Cups. Hello, that's definitely love, because you have, when we look at this, we have the Queen at the center. So partnership incoming, that's one thing that I see for some of you. And then the other card is the Two of Wands. So this partnership can be whatever you make it to be. Some of you are looking for a business partner or a friend. Some of you might be calling in a pet like I did several years ago. Some of you might just be trying to find the way to get something done. The good news is there is a person out there that is saying, yeah, that resonates with me. Yes, this is something that I want. So your big idea this month is do not give up your vision. Do not underestimate your potential to manifest, and keep your eye on that prize the whole month. The Two of Wands in reverse is internal doubt. Just like the High Priestess in reverse. She knows, she feels, she sees what's coming, but she doesn't believe it. The Two of Wands doesn't believe it's possible. The High Priestess already sees that it is, but she still doubts it. The Two of Wands is a step before that. So don't discount something before you've had any chance to get feedback, before you've given it an opportunity to root, to grow, to expand. So you owe it to yourself and to your dream to take it to that next level. And yeah, if something great comes along, don't doubt it. The only thing that I would say is make sure that you are both equally committed to it. But I definitely see someone out there that it takes 2 to tango, and it looks like there's someone else who wants to tango with you. So whether that's a partnership or a love engagement or something else, just make sure that you're on the same level. That's what I've been talking about this entirety of this reading. So that's the only note that I have there. But happiness, success, all within reach. Just keep on keeping on. Good big idea card. I like it. Let's move on to blessings and blocks. These are setting you up for growth and also for delays if you're not careful. So we're going to do our best to navigate the two. So let's give the cards a shuffle and then we'll look at them together. Your blessing is the King of Swords. So many people this month, if you haven't noticed it already. Blessing is King of Swords, and the block is the Prince of Pentacles, or Prince of Discs. So let's take a look at these up close and let's break it down. Starting with your blessing. Your ability to communicate is off the charts. It's not important about how well you do it. It's more like how connected you are, and that actually will be good communication. But it's not just the words that you're using, it's the manner in which you speak. And it's the heart-centric thing here. We also have the dragonfly. If I go really close, you can see that cool dragonfly there. To me, dragonflies, hummingbirds, bees, they're all really good symbols of growth and ascension. So as I said in the slides earlier, elevate the conversation, okay? Let's see here. The only thing that I'm getting as I look at this is you don't have to wait for things to come to you when it comes to messaging. So if you have something that you want to say it. The King of Swords has no problem calling an audience and saying what he needs to say. Okay, good. All right. I really like your block, and I think it's something that you're going to be able to manage, because it's not really a block here. But we have the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles is being called into action as well. That I keep getting a common thread as I look at both of these, but I'm looking at the bull in the center there, and what's happening here is stubbornness. So if you can use that stubborn energy to motivate what's possible, to motivate you and others to do the right thing, you're going to be fine. If the stubbornness is saying, I expect this person to do this, or them to come to me, or I want to get the apology, or I want this, or I want that, and you're waiting, then you might miss something. But they're positive cards. This is open communication and action and activity. And this one is also doing the right thing. The bull is holding the prince back from doing the right thing. And so a knight, which is what this card really is it's basically incumbent upon the knight to do what's right, sometimes even when, or especially when, it's inconvenient. So the sooner you take that step and lead by a positive example, the sooner you're going to receive something better than whatever it is that you were holding on to. So you can't be stubborn in the wrong way this month. Stay open-minded. The only stubbornness that I think is good with this is I'm not going to give up until this is finished. That's a good form of stubborn. But to say that it can only happen in one way, shape, or form is almost denying the universe a chance to give you an upgrade. Kind of like if you're flying. You have a first-class upgrade that's en route. And all that's required is that you try a different route, try a different way, and then you might be surprised by that. Okay? Great. Let's move on to the viewer's choice. And then after this, we'll do the not the elemental breakdown, but sun, rising, and moon after this. Okay, so for this viewer's choice, I'm going to give you a chance to vote on something, and then I'll look at some stuff too. So let's get the keyboard here, and I'll just do a little screen here so you can see what I'm looking at. Okay, the shark keeps grabbing my attention. So one thing that I want to help you sort out, and it'll take me a moment or two before I have the poll ready, so give me one moment here. So we're doing a viewer's choice poll. You can only do this on laptop, mobile device, and I think that's it. If you're watching on a TV or an old device, it may not work, so just be aware. All right, so we want to see the shark. Basically, what we're looking at with this is danger or, danger or blocks. So whatever the shark is trying to tell us, I'll see where it is. I really love the energy of relationships that's coming through this month. So how to navigate relationships. There's so many and so many types to look at. I'll see if there's an overarching advice that's coming through on that. And I'm going to look at the inner child piece, so I'm going to save that for the reader's choice. I like the Three of Pentacles, so how to accomplish your goals is really what that's saying, because you have this ability to do it. So go ahead and vote on that at your convenience while I take a look at the next piece here. All right, so as I just discussed, I want to look at this inner child healing because it's an important piece. And I know a lot of you are curious about that. So let me give the cards a shuffle. And let's see what's coming through for inner child. High Priestess. Well, you're going to be okay no matter what. All right. I've already talked about the High Priestess because she also came through reverse like the Two of Wands. But you know it. You know something is true, and you know that you are more than what someone said you were. But you have to believe it. Sometimes on my slides, I'll use this phrase that, I don't know if I come up with it, but it popped into my head. But believing creates the seeing around you. So believing is seeing, seeing isn't believing. So the mistake of youth, I think for many of us that we've been kind of stunted with, is that you have to have this external empirical knowledge. There has to be proof, scientific method, all of this stuff. The proof is in the pudding. When it comes to spirituality, the inner knowing trumps all of that kind of external stuff. So I'm going to tell you this: the sooner you can believe that you are worthy, the sooner you're going to see an external validation of that. I believe it, I see it, your soul believes it, but something in your mind could be holding you back. How can this believing be somehow stunting you? Maybe you're trying to find a relationship and there's been stagnation for a while. Maybe you haven't been awarded a raise at work. Maybe your friends tend to take you for granted and you're always the one reaching out to them. I want you to focus on really feeling the inner worth and saying, I see it. And if others don't see it, then I may release the connection that I have with them. I'm not going to try to control things and ask or demand that validation, because it's either going to come or it's not. I was doing some research this week for something that I needed to do for business, and there was one person that was I called and I didn't get a call back for 3 hours, and I called back again, and they were giving the runaround, and I said, you know what? Either I'm going to get a return call or I'm not. And in that moment, I'd already made up my mind not to go with them. And I said, I've learned not to push something too much. So I went right down my list, called someone else. They picked up immediately. Within 15 minutes, whatever the transaction and thing that I needed to get done, I got it done. And I knew I chose the right person because of the responsiveness. If you don't get the responsiveness and you know what you need and you know where you need to be, then that you can't force it. So don't force it. Feel it. And then wait for someone or something to come through where it's on the same level and there's no more friction, okay? That's the message. It's a weird message, but that's the message for the inner healing, is that you need to know it and then wait for the external to catch up. And you don't have to force old people in the old paradigm to see it. They typically will, and they typically will come along, but you have to do the inner work first and believe it and watch what I'm saying. In a month or two, you're going to see it externally, but you have to work on the inner belief, okay? All right, let's take a look at the poll and see what you have chosen for me to look at. We have see the shark, danger, blocks. I'm glad you chose this one. I like it when it's a little bit tricky or a little bit difficult. It keeps me on my feet. To me, what I would be kind of like assigning this shark card to, like I said, it's kind of like an amalgamation of the devil card and the moon card and the seven of swords, if we're looking at the lower frequency pieces of it. So let's look at how to avoid those particular energies, or to navigate them. We're not avoiding them, we're navigating them. Ace of Cups reverse. Some of you are in an emotional place right now. So you have to let your emotions flow. So if there's, if you're really upset about something, find a way to voice that, to air that concern. If you're really sad, have a good cry. Do whatever you need to do to get the emotions out. Because when you're faced with the shark moment, what the shark is looking for, the devil in this sort of like tarot analogy, what the devil would be looking for is a crack into your psyche. So if your emotional state is out of sync, it's out of sync, or if it's out of balance, then that's where they're going to go. They're going to try to trigger you, maybe make you feel insecure, maybe make you unhappy, possibly make you sad. This is how a bully works, basically, right? And so when you seal and heal the heart space and really feel solid in that space, then it doesn't hit the same way. It's almost sad to watch someone stoop to that level. And that's what you would do instead, is say, I'm so sorry that you feel like you need to take a low blow. We could have just walked through this, but now I see the true colors. Thank you. And then walk away. Because there is some Five of Swords energy with the shark too, and the shark will bite. So I don't think you're not going to take the bait. There's something that goes out there, and it's probably emotional bait, and you're not going to take the bait. And you'll see it kind of like in slow motion happening. You may not see it coming, but as it starts to happen, you're like, that's what Nicholas was talking about, or this is where I'm sensitive. I'm going to just hold back for a second. If you don't have the peace of mind or the neutrality in the moment, come back to it and just say, now's not a good time. Or I think you need to talk to someone else, or I'm not interested. Or just walk away. Don't run away. Just separate yourself until you find a better way to get around that. Okay? No sudden movements with that shark. I think that's my advice for you. It's an emotional trigger that you can avoid when you're in the face of that. Okay? Great. we're going to move to a special piece now that I don't have a special graphic for because I'm still testing it out. But every reading that I've done, people are like, yeah, bring it back. So same thing goes for you, Cancer. If you enjoy the sun, rising, moon portion that I'm about to do, leave me a note in the comments. Okay, so let's just turn the camera down and look at specific messages for sun, rising, moon. You can always use the entirety of all of my readings for every aspect of your chart, including Venus, but I'm pulling some special messages for each, just to kind of help us, because it is a sort of different focus if you're looking at it for those different aspects. So let's see. Sun, there can't be two, but there is. So there's 2 for sun, rising, moon. Okay, so let's break these down. We'll start first with all of you that are Cancer sun. So as I look at the sun card, we'll start with your first card, which is the Empress, one of the best cards that I could pull for all of you. You have the power, capacity, and means with which to make your dreams come true. Yay. She was reversed, as are many of your cards this month, which means that others may call into question your authority or your decision or your attachment to your decision. This does not disenfranchise or undermine your ability to still make something happen. All it is the universe saying, are you sure? So be sure when you say something, and then when someone says, are you sure? Say, not only am I sure, but I've done the work, and this is why, okay? So for all my sun signs out there, you just have to really own it and push the embodiment of what's in here and in here out into the world so that they don't doubt you, okay? Good. All right. Thank you for those of you that did that. I'm going to also ban and remove that. All right. So the next piece here is the Prince of Swords, and this is also for the for those of you that are sun signs. So this is saying that you may need to back up what you have to say. Okay, with some sort of text, with some sort of presentation, with some sort of action. So one of the things that you want to do is be as bold as you can be, and then really follow, like walk the walk and talk the talk. And that's really what this is. This is the action, not just the words, because knights are moving. And this is also the leadership. So you're going to be asked to be accountable and to be an example of what it is that you have to say. Get to the point too. That's the other piece with this card in reverse. So you've got it. It's a really great combination here of cards here. So I see movement, I see power, I see it potentially being called into question, but I believe that you're going to rise to that occasion and be all right. All right, so that was the sun. We're going to look at rising, which ironically is the moon. Don't get confused. We're looking at rising or ascendant, and the moon card in tarot came through. It is reversed, which means that you're going to see through any sort of bad actions or bad actors. Just like we saw someone here that we had to report, it'll be very clear that this isn't the right thing to do. So for some of you, there is a person that shows up in your life, they try to get away with something, they don't get away with it. The other thing here is there's a chance in relationships in your life to go a little bit deeper and to just talk about whatever you're afraid of. Now, we're looking at a work-oriented part of your chart. So your rising or ascendant is how you project yourself to the world. So if somebody comes through and has a misperception or misconception about you, just go straight to it and say, I'm sure you want to talk about this. A lot of people think this, but they're wrong, and I'm happy to answer your questions. So let's just go straight into it. Go right into the area of difficulty with confidence, without the sort of defensive stance, and you're going to be fine. You're going to come through anything. So this could be like an audit, financial audit. This could be a historical sort of audit or a background check. Somebody finds something and they're like, what's this about? And you're able to walk them through why it's there, and they get past it. Be careful about any sort of gossip or territorial type things. Definitely that sort of stuff invariably has a way of getting back to whomever you might be talking about, and it could also put a mar on your record. Records keep coming through as I'm tuning into Ascendant, so clean your social media stuff up, clean up your record, make a better CV, go in there and just get everything tightened up so there are no questions asked, okay? Overall, pretty good. The moon card is good for instincts, so trust your instincts, and if it doesn't feel good, don't do it. Now we're going to look at moon, which can be that private side of yourself that you don't share with many people. Sometimes it is your core relationships. Sometimes it's our hopes and fears. Guess what? You're going to have a great month if you have Cancer moon. So what I'm seeing for you is the ability to really start to show your true colors. Look at the peacock. We got 2 peacocks here. So for some of you, there could be a nice... this can be actually same-sex relationships. So for some of you, there might be an opportunity to pull in love in your life. And if your family didn't support you or whatever, there's chosen family. So there's that piece. But for the rest of you, this is saying, I'm attracting what I am, what I want. And so the work that you've done on yourself is pulling in a chosen family and also a really nice work opportunity because of who you are. People just want to be around you. So super magnetic month for Cancer moon in relationships and also in work for you. You're making good connections this month. Be authentically yourself, see where that brings you, and don't hold back, okay? Especially when we connect it with the star energy, all right? Hopefully you like that. I know I do. It does give an extra meaning, and I always get so many questions like, what if I'm the moon? What if I'm the sun? So now you've got that, and I'm adding it in. And let me know if you like the placement or if you want it before all of this stuff. But I thought this was a nice thing to do right before we get into the meditation. So we're just going to take a quick look at everything that we've talked about, and then 2 special pieces, so don't go anywhere just yet. There's one last card that I'm going to look at called the final card, and this is your chance to ask me a question silently. So since I'm one person and I can't answer all of the questions as they come through, what I afford to you is the opportunity to meditate on a question, and we have each sign is broken down into a smaller group, so I can really focus on that one question and give you some guidance. Okay. A couple of notes before we get there, since it's just me here. A reminder that, again, most of you that are in the chat room have already done this. So if you want to chat, make sure that you've subscribed. If you've been a longtime viewer, subscribing just helps the channel grow, as you would imagine. Hit the like button once and also turn on bell notifications if you haven't done that before. All of it is free. You don't have to charge. You're not charged anything to subscribe. If you would like to get a reminder of when I go live, in the pinned comment on replay, but also right now here in chat, there's a link to all my social media platforms. It's always my name except for Twitter, and I never will directly message you on those platforms. So if anybody offers something or pretends to be me, you know it's not me. Thanks to everybody who showed up today and gave some stickers. I will say thank you at the end of today's reading, so I just wanted to let you know that. All right, let's get ready for the meditation. And again, write down your choice of question, whatever it is that you want. If you're not sure, just say, show me what I need to see or something like that. But get that question, that final question ready. And I'm just getting everything set up here. Looking at the cards in front of me, and actually kind of going back to what we talked about earlier, I like the idea of pushing through something. Let's imagine that you're that tulip or that lily, and you're going to push through the ground and blossom or bloom into whatever it is that you want to be. We're figuratively speaking. So you can also imagine stepping into love or stepping into an opportunity or stepping into the unknown, but just this feeling of being bright and really being your best version of you. So before I start the meditation, I'll give you a chance to vote on which instrument that I'm going to use, and then we'll get into that. All right, so as always, you can choose between the crystal pyramid or the singing bowl. Either one is fine with me. So go ahead and vote if you'd like, and then close your eyes when you're ready. And let's focus on becoming all that you can be, stepping into that power and blooming, just like I got some Easter lilies from the store. I love them. So fragrant, and it's nice to see something beautiful growing. So just like that, let's imagine that you're any type of flower that you'd like. I'm not going to constrain you to be a tulip or a lily. You can be a sunflower. You can be morning glory, whatever you want. But just see yourself as your favorite flower. Tapping into the root system first. I want you to feel the connection to the core of the planet. Just feel like I am held up. I am nourished. I am deserving of all of the abundance and energy and opportunity that's coming to me. I've worked on myself, and like a seed, like a bulb, like the root system of a plant or a tree, I am now strong enough and I have what it takes to push through. For those of you that really want to feel this experience, imagine that you are something growing in the spring, and you're pushing through the leaves, the debris, all the stuff from the past, and you're pushing through and reaching up. And feel in this moment this sense of like a deep breath and awakening. And reach higher than you think possible and watch as you grow. See a beautiful blossom start to take shape. And feel that that blossom is attached to the top of your crown, just like the lotus blossom is. And as each petal starts to unfurl, imagine that there might be many of them. Imagine that one more sort of like piece, one more little mystery is being revealed to you. How something is going to happen, when it's going to happen, how you're going to feel. And if you don't know these answers yet, open each of those petals up and say, I'm ready and willing to receive. And imagine like antennae up there, they are picking up on how you can create the synchronicity in your life that I see that's incoming. So reach towards the sun, receive the light of the sun, and just feel this strength and inner growth as I facilitate the sound bath now with the singing bowl. So just relax and receive. And then we'll look at your final card afterwards. Remember to breathe as you meditate as well. Take a moment now to really embody this idea. I am a clear channel. My heart is open. I will receive openly and without question the abundance the universe wants to provide for me. Really believe that you are deserving of what you receive. That belief, that trust, that faith is going to help everything come through even faster. All right. I want you to focus on whatever final question you might have for me that I haven't yet had a chance to look at. Think it, don't type it out yet, and let's just pull a card and see what's coming through for you. Okay, so we have good news with this, but there is some warnings, and we kind of saw this coming with the the shark card finally showed its true colors. So we got the devil reversed. The devil reversed ostensibly brings us back into that Garden of Eden. It brings us back to the lovers, because that's what this card was before it kind of went into its lower energy. So devil reversed is saying for some of you, before entering into something, I want you to be very discerning. This is not as easy as a yes or a no. So if you have something in front of you and you were uncertain, I want you to go into where the uncertainty came from. There may be something that you can do to improve a situation. So if a contract is too limiting, if there was something in your life where there was an offer presented in front of you, but it was lacking that necessary component to really make you feel good, don't accept less than what you need. And release anyone in your life that insists upon you doing, saying, acting in a certain way, shape, or form, because that's not you. So this is a time to release something in your life and understand that by releasing it, then you enable that higher version to come through. These really are the same energies, but one is unconditional and one is conditional and controlled. So you're going to focus on the unconditional thing, and if it can't happen, then there is a warning that you can do better. So my final answer to your question would be this. there's a chance for improvement. I think you can do better. I think it requires a little bit more consideration. I also think that if you've come through a difficult situation, healing is underway, but there's still a little bit of healing to be done. This is the little emotional crack that I was talking about. The devil would be looking for something where you were uncertain or insecure. And so in this moment in time, you'll be tested, but you'll succeed. And you're just going to be strong enough to overcome the doubt or the temptation. Okay? There you go. Could be a Capricorn coming into your life as well. A stubborn Capricorn because the card was reversed. But generally speaking, what I see here is that there's one more little test that you're going to pass, but it is a test. So stay strong. And the emotional component that we looked at earlier is that piece that's going to help you not lose your cool. Okay? All right. I think today was a beautiful reading. Really enjoyed being able to just connect with your energy. And thanks for all of your support here. I appreciate that. Okay, let's see. I am not going to do the sun, rising, and moon before the main spread because I don't see where it's headed. So I would say I appreciate the feedback on that one. It would only be after the main spread because it would be confusing for it. I like to look at the main energies first. So where I was considering doing it, I do appreciate it. I'm going to say why in real time here. I think that after the big idea, it could go in, like before blessings and blocks and viewer's choice. I think that would be a nice place. Or after the blessings and blocks. And the main reading is actually for the sun sign. The reason I put it right before the meditation, these are my thoughts. You can spout out in the comments when this is on replay, was so that you could get everything you wanted from your sun sign, and then at the end of it, just sort of get some specified pieces. That's my 2 cents worth. Okay, but I appreciate that, and we'll see if anyone else agrees. Because I am open to where it's placed, but I don't think I'll do it before the Celtic Cross. Anywhere after that I'm open to, so let me know. Okay. All right, so last time, please hit subscribe if you haven't already. You know how to find me and where to find me. Thank you for your support, and in fact, that's what we're going to talk about right now is some gratitude. So I appreciate everyone right now that was kind enough to let me know when there was someone in the room. You can always @ me and let me know if someone's doing something, and I'll ban them like I did right now. So thanks for everybody for keeping this a nice, wonderful room. We've been actually doing A-okay with just you and me without the moderators, so I may keep it that way for the weekdays, and then on the weekends I may just keep Dakota. We'll see how this works. All right, so let's focus on anybody that joined today as a new member. Thanks to the existing members and Patreon supporters as always. Let's see, I think I saw at least one. So we have Adapts Training as a brand new member, and I saw that when I joined, so welcome and thank you. Let's see, there's a couple of new ones here. Leah M., I can't remember if I welcomed you yesterday, Shelly Ray, Pamela Steele, and Didem I remembered welcoming. So those are all of our new members within the past 12 hours or so. Thank you, and thanks for making what you see here possible. Okay, let's go ahead and see anybody that gave back super sticker, super chat. I want to just acknowledge you right now. We have a great array today. Thank you so much for the support, Cancer. All right, so kicking things off was Vanessa. I'm glad that you like what you're seeing, and I appreciate your support here as well. Steph Hageman, thank you so much, Steph. I appreciate you. Rachel Wilson Coda, Becky Ryan, RH, Stellar Life, Jen G, Maria Fernandez, let's see, Coriad's Books, I think it is. Thank you. Alias Harrian, thank you. Sunshine Finney, appreciate you very much, thank you. Chrissy C, thank you. White Light Living, Steph O, Queen Cam, Brynhilder, Thor's Daughter, and Starseed Aquarius. I appreciate all of you for making today an amazing reading. Thank you very much. I think I caught just about everyone except Crystal Azure. Good to see a familiar name here. I think I said Starseed Aquarius, but if I didn't, I'll say it one more time. So that, my friends, is everything for today. I did put a reminder for the Sunday Collective, and I'll go ahead next week and get the upcoming videos up so that you can set reminders. We're on Cancer right now, which means that on Monday I'll be doing Leo, and then Thursday and Friday will be Virgo and Libra. Those should be coming pretty soon here. By the weekend, you'll be able to set reminders on all of those. All right, everyone. Lots of love and light to you. Hope you're having a great, amazing week and doing something fun this weekend. Until I see you, hopefully, on the Sunday Collective, be kind to yourself, do something fun, have an amazing month ahead, too, because You have really great cards in front of you, so much to tap into when it comes to relationships and people in your life that I can't wait to see how that sort of pans out, particularly for those of you looking for love or relationships. It's a good month, okay? Take care of yourselves, and thank you again for everything that you do and just for holding some space today. All right, until I see you again, be well. Bye-bye.